Across the studio and find Catalina Marchand-Brooke. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Truthing or faking, that is the question. Electoral fraud in France. Disproving this one. Go ahead.
The post-election debunk, Mark. Let's start with a video published on TikTok one day before elections here in France, where some users denounce electoral fraud against Marine Le Pen. In the video, we see a man opening an envelope with his electoral ballots, where he shows 3 different Marine Le Pen electoral ballot papers that are ripped. And in the caption of the video, this person writes, "Attention, be extremely vigilant for tomorrow's elections. A defective paper ballot is not valid. Share this video to the max." We see this video shared also on English social media accounts on Twitter, where the video mostly comes from a pro-Marine Le Pen social media accounts. This post reads, "Talk of election fraud already in France." This one right here, "Ballots in France for Le Pen deliberately been spoiled again. Election fraud against the people." And indeed in France, according to the electoral code, if there's a defective paper ballot that is cast, it's counted as an invalid vote. But there are certain specifications in this electoral law, and to verify this information, we contacted the National Commission of Electoral Control for the presidential elections here in France, and this organization monitors irregularities during this presidential ballot process. They confirmed to our team that the rip we see in these paper ballots of Marine Le Pen don't represent an invalid vote, and that these rips can happen during the packaging and delivery process of these paper ballots. And they also said that voters can pick up a new paper ballot out of the many available in
So it is false when whichever robot it is that is behind this Twitter campaign says that if the ballot paper is just slightly ripped as we see there, it's actually false to say that doesn't count.
It's false to say, and it's important to verify this as well, Mark.
Okay.
We also have other examples of this during the first round of elections here in France. After April 9th, we saw posts denouncing electoral fraud also against Éric Zemmour. Some users claimed that these stains in the paper ballots would represent an invalid vote if cast, and hence electoral fraud. We saw these posts on Facebook as well. But normally a paper ballot that is considered invalid would have to have more evident scribbles. There's these examples from 2016 on these Marine Le Pen, once again, voting paper ballots. And then we have these ballots as well that were clearly invalid votes with inexistent candidates. Sending François Premier or Charles de Gaulle as a candidate was clearly invalid as well. Here's another one from 2017 of Emmanuel Macron. We can't really see what's written, but this is what would be considered more of an invalid vote, with more intentional, more troll-like scribbles on the paper ballot, but not the stain or the rip that we just saw. That can't really be considered electoral fraud, according to specialists. Mark.
Okay. So it isn't the first time that voters in France have been talking about electoral fraud, though, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we showed the 2 examples, and
Catalina, thank you very much indeed.